liability of the platforms is massive on this. It is a massive thing on all the platforms that dealt with Go Digital, specifically the big ones that said this is the only guy you can use or preferred vendors and that kind of thing. It is on them because they're the reasons why we're here. Because if they would have been paying us directly and just use these guys as service, which is fine, like I said before, like you said before, I agree with you, man. You need someone to kind of a funnel to do it. Amazon doesn't. They figured it out. Right. But the other platforms like, hey, Netflix doesn't want to deal with 10,000 filmmakers. I get it. Hulu doesn't want to deal with 10,000 filmmakers. I get it.
Well, listen, and again, this is not about them having to deal with the filmmakers. I'm not even suggesting that, right? I'm not suggesting that suddenly, iTunes and Vudu and Hulu or any of the major platforms suddenly open up the ability for every single filmmaker and even to some degree mid-level distributors have direct access to them. It's impossible. They can't handle it. I get it.
I get that.
Listen, I even had companies tell me, Vudu was one of them, that when I was trying to pave a direct relationship, they said, we don't have the infrastructure to deal with another direct partner at this time. Mm-hmm. Okay, fair enough. However, that's not my problem. I'll use one of your approved delivery services all day long. I'll even use some of them to pitch to you if you prefer that, right? I don't even care about that. What I care about is that you're not sending my money to me after you take your 30, 40, or 50%, okay? Which is a lot of money. These platforms are taking a lot of money. And then you're taking the balance of our royalties and sending them to a company that you've deemed approved, and you have set no financial regulations in place to protect us.
But they're not even a financial institution.
Right. No, and that's what I'm saying.
They're not regulated.
It's ridiculous. But what I'm saying though is that the platforms could regulate. They could say, listen, you have to prove to us that you've set up a client royalties escrow account that does not commingle with your business account. We're going to have to verify once a year that account is still in good standing. Okay. On top of that, which I mentioned in my letter, the platforms could do very easily, which is to protect content owners, whether it's an individual filmmaker or a mid-level or a major studio. And on the back end of the platform's database, instead of the aggregator being listed as the account holder, you list them as the delivery service on behalf of the content holder. And the content holder should be listed so that when something like this happens again, and trust me when I tell you, it's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. But when it happens again, now what happens is that we as the content holders can reach out to the platforms and say, hey, this is what's going on. And I'll give you an example. Amazon, who, again, they have been so gracious. I've been talking to them via email almost every other day. They're working very aggressively with us. But their big thing was because of their AVD direct accounts, right? Anything that we had under Go Digital's AVD accounts, and we used them a lot, even though we had our own, we used them a lot because our dashboard was not as big as we wanted it to be on the international scope. Mm-hmm. So we were using them for a long time until our own AVD account opened up. But here's the problem. Our films, even though I can prove that there are films and that we were assigned the copyright to distribute, they're under Go Digital's AVD account. So Amazon just goes, well, we can't do anything. You have to have them take them down and then redeliver to us, right? That's a problem.
Very much so.
That's a problem. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you something too, to go a step further. What I'm suggesting is not going to be a huge inconvenience for these major platforms. It's not like I'm saying, guys, restructure the whole thing that you're doing. Now, listen, me suggesting, hey, why don't you set up what Amazon Prime has done, where the revenue is going to go directly to the content holder of note, that might be a little more difficult. But in this digital age, really, how difficult could it really be? How difficult could it really be for iTunes or Vudu or Google Play or any of these major platforms to say you have to use an approved delivery service to deliver, but we're going to set up an account for the royalties and the raw data to come directly to you. How difficult in 2019 with these major platforms could it be when a major platform like Amazon Prime did it well over a couple of years ago?
There's,
It can't be that difficult.
it's not that difficult because there's so many different there's so many different accounts out there, so many different, my whole business is online. So I have revenue coming in from thousands of different companies, and they have thousands of other people doing things from affiliate, like affiliates. Just let's talk about an affiliate marketing thing. Amazon has the largest affiliate marketing program in the world, and we're talking about millions of accounts where money goes directly into a bank account every single month and is tracked so I agree with you 100%. There's no way that these companies can't do that. They maybe don't want to put the resources in. Maybe they're like, I'd really rather not deal with it. I'd rather be easier to do it this other way. But what this does show us is there is definitely a crack in the boat. There is a leak, a big one.
Oh, absolutely. And